Hey guys, this is lesson 13, and today we will be learning about scientific notation. Okay, so we are asked to provide the scientific notation for each value, but before we get into that, what even is scientific notation, right? So a scientific notation is a way of writing very large or a very small numbers. Okay, so in any kind of science like biology, chemistry, or physics, scientists deal with very large numbers or very small numbers, right? So if I were to ask you like how many atoms are in the human body, or like the mass of the earth in kilograms, then that would be very large numbers, right? And if I were to ask you like the mass of electrons, then that would be very small numbers, right? So scientists came up with a better way to write very large numbers and very small numbers, right? And that is what we call scientific notation. Okay, so it is written in form of a number between 1 and 10, right? And then a decimal point. Oh my, sorry. Here, let me. Okay. So a decimal point and then another number. Okay. Multiplied by a power of 10. Okay. So it is when a number between 1 and 10 is multiplied by a power of 10. So let's actually look at the problems. So number 1, right? If we want to change this big number into this form, what should we do? We're going to move the decimal points. Okay? So we know that there's a decimal point at the end like that, and then we want to move it so that the decimal point is in between the first digit and then the second digit. Okay? So then we're going to go ahead and move this decimal point. We're going to move it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We moved it 6 times to the left, and then we're going to put our decimal point there. Okay? So again, it is in between the first digit and then the second digit. So now it is 7.9 multiplied by 10 to the power of 6. And why is it 6? Because we moved 6 times to the left. Okay? So there we have it. That's our scientific notation. Let's try number 2. Okay, 62,000. Again, that's a big number to work with, right? And so we're going to change it to this form again. And how do we do that? Again, we have a decimal point at the end, and then we want to move this left. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times to the left, and then we're going to put a decimal point there in between the first digit and then the second digit. Okay? So we do 6.2 multiplied by 10 to the 4th power. Why? Because we moved 4 times to the left. So that's it. Okay? Hopefully it's not too confusing. So just follow this form and give the rest of the questions a try. So now let's move on to the next page. And this time, we're going to write the numbers in normal form. Okay? So how do we do that? Well, remember when we had a huge number, like for example, we have this huge number. Okay? How do we write it in scientific notation? We move the decimal point to the left, right? We moved it to the left. But now, since we're going the opposite way, we're going to move it to the right. We're going to go right. Okay? So let's look at number 1. So we have 2.08 times 10 to the 7th power, right? And then, so we have our decimal point here. And then again, we're going to move this to the right. And how many times? 7 times. Okay, so the power indicates how many times you can move, or you will be moving. So we have our decimal point here, and then we're going to move 7 times to the right. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we moved our decimal point. And then what do? We're going to fill in the space of zeros. Okay. Okay. So we add 5 zeros. And so our final answer in normal form would be 0, 8, and then 5 zeros. 4, 5. And then this big number is our answer. Oh wait, that's not it. Okay. Let's try number 2. Again, we're going to move this decimal point to the right. And how many times are we going to move it? We're going to move it 8 times. Okay. So we have 7.48, and then we're going to move this 8 times. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We move the decimal points, and then what do? We're going to fill in the space of zeros. Okay, so we add 6 zeros. And so our final answer in normal form would be 4, 8, and then 6 zeros. And then that's our answer. Okay, so go ahead and finish this page. Remember to move the decimal point to the right this time. And then let's go into the 3rd page. We will be doing addition of decimals. So for number 1, we're asked to find the missing numbers, right? And then how do you find the missing numbers? Well, we're going to use subtraction. So we do 0.7 minus 0.4, right? Always align it, right? And then we do 7 minus 0, that's 3. That's 0.3. Okay? 0.3. And then 2. Again, we're going to subtract 0.2 from 4.7, the total, in order to find the missing number, right? We do 4.7 minus 0.2, right? And then that is 4.5. 4.5. Okay? So, simple and easy. Go ahead and finish it, and then we'll move on to our last page. And we will be doing subtractions of decimals this time. And again, just the same concept, right? In order to find the missing addend, right? And if we are doing subtraction, so we're going to have to use addition to find that missing number, right? So we are going to add 0.7 to our total. So we do 6.7 plus 0.7. Okay. And then 7 plus 7, that's 14. You put a decimal point. 6 plus 1, that's 7.4. 7.4. Okay. And then number 2, again, we're going to subtract 5.40 from the total, which is 2.2. Remember to align it. Okay. And then we subtract. Oh, sorry, it's not a subtraction. We have to add. So we're going to add 6 point and then 7. So 7.6. That's it. So that's it. And here are your answers.